I'm 30 and I feel like a failure. It's like everyone that you went to school with just handling adulthood so flawlessly, and then you wonder, am I the only one that didn't get married this year? Am I the only one that is not in a relationship? Am I the only one with no money? Hey friend, I hope you're well and I hope you've had a lovely new year. I had other plans for a different video, but for some reason I feel very convicted to make this video. I kind of just want to have a heart to heart and express what is in my mind. And honestly, I think I'm feeling this way because it's the new year and there's so much pressure to get your life together. So I do feel a little bit lost, I'm gonna be honest. And I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling the pressure. So whether your bills are piling up, you have zero in your bank account, you have no job, no friends, no relationships, then this video is for you. Life has a way of making us feel like we are behind and we have to have it all figured out by a certain age. But let's be honest, no one has given us a manual, a guide on being an adult. We just became adults. Like, to me, I still feel like I'm like 15 at times. There's no cheat code, even though sometimes it does feel like some people have some sort of cheat code or blueprint secretly given to them, and now they're like skyrocket up high and we are still at the same level since 15 years old. Let's talk about the emotions that come with this feeling of feeling behind. Obviously you've got a list of them, I'm sure, but I'm going to start with frustration. Like an overwhelming sense of frustration, like you are chasing this far away finish line, that every time you skip, hop, jump, crawl, doing hurdles, and the finish line just moves further and further away the closer you get, which is so frustrating. Then we've got anxiety. It creeps in, whispering doubts and will I ever catch up? Am I doing the right thing? Why am I so behind? That's what anxiety does. It just continues to build all these thoughts into your head and it becomes overwhelming. And then we've got loneliness. Like, it hits so hard because you think you're the only one going through it. You think you're the only one feeling like this, that you're behind in life, while everybody else hits new levels. You think you're stuck and you feel lost and you feel like a failure. That you feel lonely in those emotions, and we are not dealing with these things alone. So I've started it by sharing with you, and all those emotions then link to shame, like you feel ashamed that you are not doing more than your potential or something like that, like you're not living up to your potential, which is, it brings a lot of shame. So the reason why I'm talking about these emotions is that they're not a sign of weakness. They allow us to know and feel that we are humans. We are humans, so we feel things, and it's normal to go through these emotions. It's just what we do with it that's different afterwards. Understanding these emotions and acknowledging them allows you to navigate them. It allows you to navigate life a little bit better. If you're on social media, you probably have seen like your classmates, your old neighbors, your friends, and all of them posting, and then you wonder, am I the only one that didn't get married this year? Am I the only one that is not in a relationship? Am I the only one with no money? Am I the only one that hasn't bought a home? So you start to compare your life with what you're seeing, and then it makes you feel behind. Social media plays a big part in that. I've said it and I will always say it. Social media plays a big game in the comparison trap. Once you are in that comparison trap, it's hard to come out. It's like everyone that you went to school with and their mums is just handling adulthood so flawlessly. While these are buying homes, I'm here thinking, have I even washed my face last night? I silence the noise. I've been so committed to like not using social media in the way that I used to, and if you've seen my first video of Spark and Fuel, you know that I silence the noise. I mute everybody. Those perfect feeds and highlights of life and all these things that we see on social media, they're just obviously highlights of their life. I do it too, and I do apologize if someone's looking at my life and thinking I've got it together too. What you see on social media does not tell the full story. Like, I can look at people online and we know that that's not their full story. The same if someone's looking at my videos and highlights on my page, please just know it's not the full story. We don't have access to the behind the scenes of these people's lives. I've mentioned before the flamingo effect. It's my little term for even exposing yourself to what you see on social media will make you feel like that's what you should achieve in your life when it does not align with who you are. So you end up having the flamingo effect. The thing is, I'm not just navigating the generic road of adulthood. I'm speaking about adulthood for me as an East African firstborn child. Growing up in an East African household, there's like this unspoken expectation for you to be like the leader, the example. And from young, I remember I used to say, I hate being the oldest. God, why did you make me the oldest child? Obviously now I understand it a little bit more, but back then I was young. I was thinking this is a lot of pressure. You're given this responsibility, not just have your own dreams, but like the dreams of the whole entire family, and it's on your back. Like, that's heavy. There's so much pressure from society, a society that is measuring our value and our worth on the things that we've achieved. By 25 you get this, by 30 this. Being a woman, oh yeah, you need to get married at this age so that you can have children at this age because your eggs will dry up. Or there's just so much pressure everywhere, and if you haven't hit a certain milestone that society set for you, or your family set for you, or someone else set for you, then you are behind now. I'm not surprised why a lot of people feel behind no matter what they do, myself included. If you know me, I'm a planner. I love to plan things, but you know, life does not go to plan sometimes, and that's okay. That's something you have to learn. I used to think by this age I would have multiple properties all over the world. I'm 30 and I don't own multiple properties, and that's okay. I'm not a failure. You are not a failure. We're just flowing with life. The funny thing is, people often say to me, you are living my dream life. You're married and you got children, you have your job, you have your degree. Honestly, no matter what you have, you will feel behind somehow, because we live in a huge world, a lot of different people. You're going to feel behind at some point in your life, no matter what you've achieved. I'm sure if we speak and sit down with the ones we look up to and we think, you know what, you have it all, and they will just share with you that they don't, and they want something else, or they feel behind compared to people that they know. Like, the feeling exists in all people. So I'm going to share the things that have helped me when I feel like this. The first thing being recognizing that we have our own timeline. This one has really helped me. I got that from God. God created us all differently. Our fingerprints are different. We're like those snowflakes, you know, when they say that the snowflakes, you can never find one snowflake that looks the same as another snowflake. That's like us. There's only one Kimmi, and there will only be one Kimmi. There never will be another one in this world, in this universe. We are all main characters in different books, in different stories. Consider that everyone has their own traumas. People move at different paces. There's so many people going through different things, and every story is not identical. Let's start to embrace the fact that we are exactly where we are meant to be in our own journey, in our own story. That's how I choose to view it, and that is one of the biggest things that gives me comfort at any time, to kill that comparison trap. Another game changer for me is shifting my perspective. Instead of focusing on the things that I've not achieved, is celebrating and acknowledging the things that I have achieved. So you're not focusing on the negatives, you're not focusing on the lack, you're focusing on the things that you have achieved, and you're celebrating them, which then makes you focus on the lessons that you've learned, the person you've become. Because I believe all these things that we go through in our own individual stories are character building. Like, for me to be this character today, I've had to go through the things that I've been through before. For you to be who you are today, you've had to encounter certain things in your life to create the person you are today. Another thing that is so crucial to dealing with this feeling is also surrounding yourself with the right people. Share your feeling with friends and family and those that you trust, because it will combat that feeling of loneliness, thinking that you're the only one going through this. And if you can help someone else, just leave a comment down below, so someone else will read it and think, okay, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are going through the same thing. I'm not alone. Sometimes you just need to hear an outside perspective, and then it just all suddenly melts away, or something just clicks in your brain. So that's why it's so important to kind of choose the right people around you and share it with them. The next tip is to have compassion. I always speak on compassion because I feel like everybody should have this for yourselves, but also others. Just remember that you're doing your best. Like that's more than enough. Have self-compassion because you are doing your best, and I'm so proud of you. If you're watching this, you're doing the best you can. So treat yourself like a friend. Give yourself compassion. What does success mean to you? Is it happiness? Is it peace of mind? Is it personal growth? Whatever it is, success should be redefined and made more personal, than instead of like focusing what success is for the world, so that you can succeed in your own way. The next thing is talk to a therapist or someone else that is not connected to you, to be able to, maybe you feel more comfortable sharing what you feel. I don't know, but that's a tip that I would suggest to those who might not have a support system. So I really hope that you've taken something from this heart to heart. I just kind of came here and I felt convicted to share how I feel, but also how I navigate the feeling of feeling behind. So thank you so much, guys.